Aloha and welcome to Aquarian Radio at aquarianradio.com. I am your host, Janet Care Lesson, with my co-host, Dr. Sasha Lesson. And today is an episode of Enki Speaks, and our program is the series called The Anunnaki and Us, 30 Chapters of Our History, 4.5 billion years ago to 311 BCE. Today we're going to start with Chapter 1, How the Solar System Formed and How Nibiru joined it.
4.5 billion years ago or so, our solar system grew from a gas cloud that circled its own center counterclockwise. This cloud cooled, and then it formed both our sun and also a dimmer pair star for the sun, and that was the sub-brown dwarf called Nemesis. Both the sun and Nemesis developed planets that circled each of them. Tiamat was a very watery planet, the one that would become Earth, and Tiamat orbited the sun in those days between the orbits of Jupiter and Mars. Now the ancient Enuma Elish relates how 4.5 billion years ago our sun created then Tiamat and then Mercury, like they were the first two in this myth, which is really a story of how things were. The sun blew comets with water and meteorites with gold from Mercury to Earth. That's how the gold got on Earth in this formulation. Planet pairs formed. Venus was a pair with Mars. Jupiter paired with Saturn. Uranus paired with Neptune. These planets all orbited around the sun counterclockwise, and so did Tiamat, this proto-Earth. There was no planet between Venus and Jupiter, where Earth now was. And Pluto, before Nibiru entered this solar system, was just a moon of Saturn. Well, the Enuma Elish goes on. It said Tiamat lacked a partner planet, but one of Tiamat's moons, one called Kingu, enlarged, got bigger. Kingu started to be the partner of Tiamat, and when that happened, the way these things were forming, Kingu would then go around the sun, but would not go around Tiamat. But that didn't happen. 4 billion years ago, before Kingu could orbit the sun, Nibiru, this planet, Nibiru invaded the sun's inner planetary system. Nibiru belched fire and radiation. Neptune's gravity pulled Nibiru into the inner solar system further, and when it got there, it changed the orbits of every single one of our sun's planets. And when Nibiru got close to Tiamat, both Tiamat and Nibiru sprouted moons.
Evil Wind, a moon of Nibiru, hit Tiamat. Another orbit, Nibiru hit Tiamat and scattered rocks, the asteroids, and ice comets from Tiamat into the orbit between Jupiter and Mars. When Nibiru hit Tiamat, it gouged a deep gap in Tiamat and knocked off a big chunk of Tiamat into orbit between Mars and Venus. The chunk, now Earth, orbited the sun. Evil Wind and Nibiru broke Earth's crust into slabs. The gap in our chunk of Tiamat became our Pacific Gap. Earth's crust formed 4 billion years ago on continents, but formed 200 million years ago under the Pacific. The crust, 12 to 45 miles deep on land, lies but 3.5 to 5 miles under the Pacific Ocean. When Evil Wind and Nibiru hit Tiamat, no crust remained in the Pacific Gap, only a gaping hole. After collisions, silt ran into the gap from the land, and volcanoes spewed lava into it. They created the thinner crust under the Pacific. Earth then attained the shape of a globe, dictated by forces of gravity. Waters gathered into the cavity on the torn-off side. Dry land appeared on Earth's other side. Breakup of Earth's crust, plate tectonics, differences between continental and oceanic crusts, emergence of a Pangaea, a single continent, from under the waters, the primordial encircling ocean led our scientists to confirm the Nibiruan model of Earth formed after Evil Wind, then Nibiru hit Tiamat.
Nibiru attained a clockwise 3,600-year orbit around Nemesis, then back through the Solaris system between Mars and Jupiter's orbits. Nibiru went through regions of great cold when it was distant from both Nemesis and Solaris, our sun. Nibiru's Volcanoes, however, kept spewing ash into its atmosphere, so that in the cold parts of its orbit, ash kept Nibiru's inner heat inside. As Nibiru got near our sun, the ash also shielded Nibiru from this intense heat that it otherwise would have gotten from Solaris, our sun. Okay, so we're going to take a little break here, and Janet's going to play some nice music for us, and then we're going to look at the next part about where are the ancestors of our ancestors, where the Nibiru's ancestors came from.